Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a speed reviews video. There are a lot of products here. I like to do, I'm gonna say speed reviews, but I like to make sure that I'm giving you a thorough review. So maybe I should call this in-depth reviews. I don't know. Maybe I should change the formatting of that now that I'm thinking about it. I have a lot of products here though that I want to chat with you about that I've been trying over the past 2 to 3 months, and I'm finally ready to share some thoughts. If the lighting's a little dim, I apologize. It's been snowing outside all day, so it's like super bright outside, which is contradicting with my lighting, but hopefully it won't be that big of a deal. If you're new here, hi, my name is Megan. I cover project planning, get ready with me's, and reviews. That's like the basis of my channel. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. And of course, if you guys like today's video, hit the thumbs up button. I will link a couple below, like my most frequent speed reviews, if you want to catch some of those other videos. I will also link the products that I love below in case you want to shop them. Some of these links are affiliated, some of them are not. And yeah, I think that's enough rambling. Let's just go ahead and jump on in. So I have my handy dandy list here. So if I'm looking down at something, that's what it is. I'm just making sure that I'm not forgetting products. I should have everything out and about though, so it shouldn't be an issue. The first product I wanted to start with, which I did a really in-depth review of this over on IG already, so you can go check that out if you would like to. But it is the KVD Good Apple Foundation. I have the shade Light 012. As you can tell, I love this. There is a pretty nice pan going in there. This is what the packaging looks like. I was really hesitant to pick this up when it went viral the first time because it just looked so heavy on everyone, but I think that was kind of like the trend, was to like cake it on. I don't know. And so it really just was not appealing to me at all. But then my friend Caitlin in the community had been raving about it. And so I was like, you know what, like, it looks really good on her skin. She's really enjoying it. Maybe I will also try it. And I'm so glad that I did, because this has easily become my favorite foundation. I had to actually just set it to the side so that I would use some of my other winter shades, but this is incredible. The balmy texture is different than like what I've worked with before, but it is so nice. I'm gonna just spread a little out of my hand. The shade range, I feel like there is a gap for a neutral undertone. It goes from light to very fair. I wish they had a fair shade, because this, like when I put it on initially, matches perfect, like the best shade match I've ever had. But then after some wear, it does oxidize. Not a lot, not in the sense that it's turning orange or being like very abundantly not my shade. I would say it just deepens a smidge, but enough that it's like noticeable to me. So I wish they had like a lighter shade option in my undertone. I find that this looks best when I apply it with a damp sponge. In fact, I say like best, I mean that like it literally makes my skin look so smooth and so flawless. It's straight up witchcraft. I don't understand like what they did here, but it is so good, you guys. I have combination skin and I don't have to set this. I typically will set like my T-zone and my under eyes just because that's what I do, but I don't normally set my entire face, and I don't have a lot of problems with a bunch of oils seeping through. It's very long wearing. I work long hours a lot of times. I need my makeup to last at least 10 to 12 hours without having to deal with touch-ups. This does that. The coverage is very buildable. You can go from a light to a full. You can build it up to your like preferred coverage level. I usually tend to sit between a light and a medium. And I feel like I haven't touched on all the things that I love about this, because like I said, I have a really in-depth review over on IG and it was very long. But this, bottom line, is incredible. I have noticed that it does go on sale quite frequently for half off. So if you're like curious but still unsure, I would wait for a sale because it will go on sale. But I'm telling you right now, I would purchase this at full price. It is so good. And such a little bit of it goes a long way. And I really just feel like my complexion looks so insanely beautiful when I wear this. So yeah, long story long, I love this. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I will stop rambling about it now, but Next up is a product that I have actually decluttered. It is the Huda Beauty lip liner. So I'll insert a photo over here. These were just not for me. One, I really just prefer a wooden pencil, something that you can sharpen. I don't like the ones where you twist them up. I feel like it's hard to get a sharp point like that, which can just create like sloppy lines. I also didn't like this formulation. It was just way too creamy. Like it was so creamy. There felt like there was like no balance between the cream and the wax. It was just straight creamy girl. And it honestly reminded me of like just a straight up lipstick formula. And that's how I was wearing it for a while. I was just using it as a lipstick and putting a gloss on top. But I was like, honestly, I don't really like the shades and I'm not gonna force myself to use them. So I decluttered them. That being said, I think that if that kind of texture or a liner is your preference, I think you would like these, but those are not my preferences, so I didn't like them. And I guess I should have said that at the beginning of the video too, like please keep in mind that these reviews are based on my personal experiences and my personal preferences. So if I don't like something that you love, that's okay. We're allowed to like different things. So yeah, just keeping that in mind. The next product I also have already decluttered is the Huda Luminous Matte Foundation. The brand had sent me both the lip liners and the foundations, and unfortunately they were both misses. I wanted this foundation to work so bad for me because I love the foundation stick that Huda has, and I was hoping that this would be like a more liquid version of it, which would be so incredible. But it is not similar to that formula at all. I hated this. It was very thick to the point where it was almost like gooey. And that made it hard to, you had to work very fast or it like would just like stick in place. It was hard to blend out and to look like even and seamless because like it started drying down so fast that it wasn't a very flexible formulation. So I didn't really love that aspect of it. And then it also just did not wear well on my skin. I found myself looking very textured, very dry. It just was not flattering, unfortunately. And when I say I tried this foundation for like the majority of a 3-week period because I was convinced it was something I was doing because I feel like that foundation has a lot of people that love it and like it just was not doing it for me. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it would play better on oily skin, but yeah, it was not holding up well on me. Textured, breaking apart, looked really dry, separation around my mouth and my nose. It just unfortunately did not work for me, so yeah. The next product we have is, sorry guys, I have a lot of Huda Beauty stuff. I was lucky enough to get some PR from her and I'm very grateful for it. So I've been reviewing some of those products. So sorry if it's a little bit overkill, but I did want to share some thoughts. So as you guys know, if you've been here, the Huda Faux Filter Corrector in the shade Peach is like the best discovery of 2023. I love this. It's almost gone. It is my holy grail corrector. Freaking stunning. I'll swatch it out for you here so you can see. That's what it looks like. It looks kind of scary, but it literally works fine for my skin tone. She recently expanded her line to include some more lighter pinky shades and some deeper pinky shades. So I was sent the Cherry Blossom Corrector, which I thought may work for me because it's geared toward my skin tone. And that's what they look like, just so you can kind of see. And I don't think that this is bad at all. I think it wears the same as the peach one. I just don't think it's dark enough for me because I don't get enough coverage from it. And I have, my skin tone is light, sometimes fair to light. So I think that if you were going to pick up one of these correctors, if you wanted the Cherry Blossom one, I would recommend that you are fair. Like, I think if you're even, you know, I would say very fair to fair. I think if you're fair light and you have deep, like dark circles, I don't know if this is gonna cut it for you. It definitely brightens, but it does not cancel out the darkness that I have, to where like this one, it cancels it out, but it doesn't like, you know, deepen the whole under eye look. So that's what I would say about that. In tandem with those items, she sent the a couple of the Easy Bake powders. She recently launched the Peach Pie, which I was really excited to get because I was very curious about this and if it would even work for my skin tone. And then I also got the Cherry Blossom Cake one, which I have been wanting since it launched, but I was so worried that it would make my under eyes look pink and I wouldn't like it. So I didn't pick it up, but it's funny because before this package arrived, I had decided I was gonna order a mini of it off Sephora because I was tired of wondering. I wanted to know. So that was a close call. So I have these two, and then as you guys know, I've loved the translucent one, and then I have one in a lighter shade for my skin tone, and I love that one. So I was very interested to try these and like compare the formulations and the tones, if you will. The Cherry Blossom one, my favorite. It has gotten so much hype, and every bit of that hype is deserved. I don't know what it is about this powder, but it works even better than the translucent one. The translucent one is the one that I always will use. I had always used on my under eyes, and this works way better on my under eyes. I don't know what it is, but it just smooths a lot better. And obviously it brightens a lot. Like that's what the sell is, the concept. But it smooths so much more. It holds up so much better. Like when I thought that like this like couldn't get better, it did in this version, which is so just like crazy to me. It obviously brightens, and I like that. It balances out the like deeper corrector that I use. Holds up really well. It has the same fragrance as all her other powders. It's like a pretty strong, like perfumey scent, but like once I get it on the face, I find that I don't smell it anymore. It fades quickly, it doesn't linger. But yeah, this is, if you're looking for an under eye setting powder that's gonna brighten, I highly recommend this one. It is literally so stinking good. Like I cannot stop using it. Like now I have to be mindful to use my translucent one because I love the pink one. Now the peach one is the one that I was like concerned. I was like, oh, can I get away with this? Like, how's this gonna, And I think that I can. I tried this out and I filmed like a whole reel on it over on IG. And this just gives me a more skin-like or skin tone finish under my eye. I think especially like in the summertime when my skin tone, I'm a little bit tanner, it'll look even better. But this like doesn't give me the same brightening effect because my skin is light, but it gives me a very skin tone finish. And I like when my concealer situation is closer to my skin tone and not like super brightening. So I think that this will be something that I use a lot more in the summer. My friend Sarah over on IG said she liked using it as like an all over like finishing setting powder situation. I did try it as that, and again, I think that will work a little bit better for me in the summer. It's not that it caused like a dark cast, but like there is that peach like reflect in it. So it did, I don't know, it did cause my foundation to look a little bit deeper than it was. So I think this is one that I will use a lot in the summer. It'll be a nice transition from the pink to the peach. But the peach, regardless, is a really, really nice formula. I just think that if you are, you know, a powder gal and you have not tried these loose setting powders, then like, what are you doing? You gotta get out there. You gotta get them. I'm not one to like advocate for that, but they are just game changers, you guys. Like, I never used to use loose setting powder. I didn't like it. I didn't think that it like worked well for me. These completely turn that around. They are insanely good. Next up, a not so great powder, unfortunately, is the Easy Bake and Snatch pressed powder from Huda. These were not doing it for me. I have the Peach Pie shade and the Cherry Blossom shade, and I will say that these compacts are nice. Like, they are weighted, they're heavy, the plastic is thick, the mirror in here is beautiful. Like, this is a luxury feeling compact, I will say that. It has a nice magnetic like clasp to it, but the product on the inside, unfortunately, is a miss for me. I used to be a pressed powder girly, so I was very, very excited about these. I was hoping like they would be, you know, reminiscent of pressed powders that I used to use, but like better because the loose powder is so good. But that was just like not my experience, unfortunately. The texture is what I think is weird. So when I apply this to the under eye, what I immediately notice is like the powder doesn't necessarily seep into my skin. It sets more on top of it, which in my opinion makes it look, I looked very textured and almost like gritty. It was a very textured effect on my under eyes. I did not like the way that it looked. It creased badly almost immediately. So it did not hold up, did not have longevity. And the way that the formula felt on my under eyes, it felt like velvety. Like the texture of the formula is so odd to me. It doesn't feel like a traditional like powder. It was like velvety, creamy, soft. And I think that that's why like it was not like setting in and it was sitting on top. This also made it really hard for me to dust away any kind of eyeshadow debris. I normally do my eyes first, and that's how I did it, but I do my lower lash line after my concealer and my powder are there, and then if there's any fallout, I can just swipe it away real quick. Not the case with this. It like, the powder like ate the fallout, and it was like in there, and I couldn't swipe it away, and it was just making a mess. It was not good for dusting away any fallout. So if you're someone that does your eyeshadow last, this could be a straight nightmare. It could ruin the whole look. So I don't know what happened with these, but they are a huge miss. And I want to be able to say, you know, I mean, I'm sure there is someone who enjoys it, that it works for them. It might just be my skin type that it's not jiving with, but man, these for me were just bad. Unfortunately, I am gonna see if some friends want them, but the one that like doesn't get claimed, I'm keeping one of these compacts because man, oh man, the compact is nice. But yeah, man, those pressed powders were such a big mess, unfortunately. Okay, next up, something I liked. Yay! Liked is an understatement. So listen, I got this because I had gotten some gift cards to Sephora, and I was very between like, do I get something practical or do I just get what I want and just have fun with it? And I leaned toward that. I don't think I ever would have purchased this like blindly if I wouldn't have had a gift card. What I got was the new Prada lipstick, and this one is their soft matte, and this is the shade B108, which is a beige. And I hate to say it, but this is dumb good. One, this shade is absolutely beautiful. If you are a girly that likes a cool tone lip, this remains cool toned on me. So many cool tone lippies pull peach on me, or like a off pink, but this doesn't. This stays cool as fuck. It's my favorite shade to pair with like a deep liner. I also love just wearing it on its own. It has some like, mine's kind of gross because I've been using it a lot, but it has some really pretty embossing there. These are refillable. The compact is weighted and heavy. The only thing that doesn't feel sturdy is the actual lipstick, because I think they are refillable, that it's just not as sturdy. The clasp, it's magnetic, so that's nice. Prada on the sides, Prada on the top, which I can see the lighting, Prada on the top. So I think packaging is very nice. It's weighted. Shade-wise, this remains a really nice cool tone. Formula-wise, though, is what was a standout for me, because I was a little bit worried when it said soft matte. I was like, so what does that mean? Does that mean it's like matte, but like just maybe not as matte? Is it still going to be drying? Like, what does that look like? Well, this for me, perfect. So it has like when it goes on, it has a nice texture that's not balmy, but it feels hydrating. The finish though is like a powdered matte. Like you can see right here, right? That looks like a powdered matte, but it keeps that like hydration on your lips all day, so it's not uncomfortable at all. Like this formula is so comfortable for having any kind of matte quality to it. It's insane. Not only that, but the lasting power of these are also wild. If I'm not like eating and I'm just drinking out of a straw, like this will remain on me for hours. Like the lasting quality was really surprising to me, because I feel like I don't have a lot of lipsticks that last this long. I don't even think I can think of one. Because usually you only really see that with like liquid mattes, but this has really great longevity, and it's just so, honestly, it's so comfortable on the lips. Like I think that this soft matte formula is so special because it looks like a beautiful powdered matte on your lips, but it's so comfortable. It has easily become my favorite lipstick in my collection, and now I fully intend to buy more shades. I hate it. This retails for $50. That is insanity, but I'm like, gosh darn it, it is so good. I truly think it's special, so I'll probably pick up more. It is stuff out here. The next product is a lip liner. I got the, also with my gift card, the Tower 28 liner in the shade Fill Me In. I'll swatch it for you guys. I feel like these liners got an insane amount of hype, and I've had it in my cart for a while to try, and I really needed a more, this looks so warm on the camera, but when I put it on my lips, it pulls a little bit like more neutral. And I needed that kind of a shade because I had completely finished up or emptied my other liner that was for that purpose. So I was like, okay, this could be a good replacement. It is wooden, which I prefer. I love this cap here that you can see, because then I just like when I reach for it, I know if I need to get my sharpener out or not. Like that's just a convenience in my opinion. The finish on these is like matte, which is cool. I just think that they look pretty. I'll just say it like that. They look pretty. And I will say, I think that the formula is worth the hype that it gets. Everyone was very over the moon about these, and I was like, because I'm a girly that will ride or die hard for my Essence $3 lip liner. I like these a lot. And they're so inexpensive, whereas like this is like a $20 lip liner. So I think it was around $20. I could be wrong, around there. But I was like, it's gonna have to bring something to the table for that price point. And I feel like it does. It is like the most perfect balance of wax and cream formulation, that it is comfortable and easy to apply, but it also holds a tight line. Oh, I'm actually wearing it. I don't know why I didn't say that. It holds a tight line, so you're not gonna get any bleeding. It also applies evenly. So like there are some liners that we're gonna talk about in a minute that I'm not a huge fan of. Some liners don't distribute the color evenly, and this one does. And it's just, it's so nice when you can just worry about staying where you want the line and not worrying about having to go back over it and color it in because it's like patchy or not holding together. Like, this is a really good liner, and I think that if you're down to spend $20 for one, I would recommend it. I think it's really nice. I think they only have like 3 shades though, so I don't know if I'll pick up another shade. I think that I would probably wait for them to expand, just because I don't feel like I need the other shades right now within my like current collection needs. So yeah, but overall, I think that that liner is really nice. Got this nice product, redonkulous. It is the MAC shampoo, shampooing mascara. So it's like a lash dry shampoo / refresher. And this is like what the applicator looks like. So we got this in the February Ipsy, and normally I would never even open something like this because it screams gimmick. That's what I'll say. It screams gimmick. But Rose and Ben, if you don't follow her over on IG, she does tons of tutorials, and you know, she has so much knowledge, reviews so much stuff. She raved about this, which made me curious. So I did open it, and I don't get it. One, this is such an over-the-top excessive step that I would almost never use it. But I can think of instances where like, oh, maybe like if it's gonna like freshen it up and I've been in it all day and we're getting ready to go back out to dinner, just like running it through and like reviving them. Like, I'm like, okay, there could be a time and a place. But this does nothing. It literally does nothing. And it's like, of course, like, why would you expect it to, you know? And I guess I would have felt that way if she would not have raved about it. Then I would have just been like, oh, whatever, passing it on. But like, because she talks so highly of it, I expected it to be really good. And it's not. It does literally nothing. I think that even in that Ipsy video, I did right there initially a little coat so you guys could see, and I was like, I don't think it does anything, but I was like, maybe it needs to dry out. So like now I've had it open for almost 3 weeks and it still does nothing. So I think gimmick, not good, don't waste your money. I don't know if this would work better if you liked more natural lashes. Like maybe it's because I wear a clumpier mascara, it doesn't work, but I just think this is crap. Ooh, the next product I am hype about. It is the Give Beauty Line It Up 24-Hour Gel Pencil in the shade Bathwater. So it's blue, and Give Beauty is Gwen Stefani's brand, and we got this in our Ipsy. And this swatch like doesn't even do it any kind of justice. I'll insert a picture I still have on my phone of a look that I did using this in my waterline. Oh my gosh, it is so freaking beautiful, you guys. It is vibrant. It has like a nice metallic sheen. So it like, in my opinion, like catches the eye better because it's like drawing that attention. And this stays all damn day in the waterline. Like, this mud trucker did not budge. I am so impressed. I actually put 2 more on my wish list because I still can't believe it, to be honest. This is like star of the show from the Icon box. Like, this is so unbelievably good. I want more. I just am still blown away by how well it holds up in the waterline. I haven't tried it on like my lid up here because I don't really see myself using it that way with this shade. But I feel like it takes a really strong hold for a liner to hold up in your waterline all day, and this was able to do that. So yeah, I think these are freaking incredible and I highly recommend them. The next products are a really unfortunate bust. I used Ulta points to snag these and I was very excited about them. It is the Natasha Denona Berry Pop lipstick and the Berry Pop liner. I was very excited because I was hoping that we would see kind of like a similar formulation to the My Dream one that I have, but I just didn't feel like it held the same. One, I think, so like this is what the color looks like on my hand, right? But this unfortunately is not how it translates on my lips. On my lips, it looks much brighter, like a very vibrant cranberry shade, not a deep cranberry, a bright cranberry. So initially I wasn't really a fan of that because it's not the shade that I had in mind. The packaging is so beautiful, so pretty. I just had to say that because I'm like, oh my God, it's so pretty. But so it was not the shade I was like initially anticipating. And then like the formula just is not it for me. This liner like obviously pairs really nicely with it, but it's too soft. It is way too soft. I was not able to get like a very strong, sharp line. So I struggled with that, but then also it was too creamy to the point where it was like, you know, bleeding into like the area between like your lip and your skin when lip products bleed that way. This is what was happening with this product, unfortunately. It was too soft to get a crisp line, and then it was not holding its own on my lip lines. It was transferring, and I'm just not into it. So this was a no for me. I mean, I wouldn't even pair it with anything else because it does not work well for me. So, but I was like, okay, no biggie. I can problem solve, figure out something to do with the lipstick, because like there are a lot of options you can do with lipsticks. So when I paired it with this, I didn't like it, too bright, bleeding, whatever. When I did it with just this, it moves around way too much. Transfer, messy, everywhere. I had dinner and it was like all over my face. It was embarrassing, and I didn't even eat like a sandwich. I had pulled pork, scooping it on a fork and putting it in my mouth, and it just like the oils in it like spread and were all over. So it was very messy. It was not easy to like maintain and push back in because the shade, it's so bright, it's vibrant, so it's not an easy one to fix. So I had that issue when I wore it like as an all red option. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just take like a little bit of it on my finger, pat it onto my lips and add some gloss and have one of those moments. But it didn't look that good that way either, because then the formula was like setting into my lip lines and just made it look like I don't know the word I had some kind of like disease, basically. It was like this like red like lip lines, and I was just like, what the? So it did not look cute. My third attempt was, okay, I'm gonna pair it with a dark liner, and I think that way worked the best. But again, the formula is just, well, when I did it like that, I don't know if I'll sell the picture on here, but it made the shade look even brighter, which I don't want. Like I wanted more of like a deep cranberry shade. So I feel like the dark liner really emphasized the light tone in this and made it look even lighter on my lips. And at that point I was like, I just know I'm not gonna wear it because I don't love the way it looks any of these ways. It is a mess. It is very high maintenance. And when I reach for a more colorful lip product. I am aware that they're more maintenance, but I want the most low maintenance, high maintenance product, if that makes sense. I want something that I'll be able to, you know, not worry that it's like all over my fucking face, for one. And then I just want it to be long lasting, and like this was not long lasting at all. I have the My Dream one, and I get way better wear time out of this. And it is like, I don't think sticky is the right term, but it like adheres to my lips a lot more solidly or effectively than the red one does. Whereas this just like almost like oils around. Like this one doesn't do that. So I don't know. But what I do know is that I did not like it. It didn't work for me. And so like for that reason, I wouldn't recommend it. And yeah, I'm probably gonna honestly see if I can return it because these were like dumb expensive. I think together they were like over $60 or something insane like that, which like for the packaging, I was like, okay, it's like so pretty. If this is so pretty, like I'm down to spend that. But yeah, these weren't it for me. The next product is the Smashbox Photo Finish Corrector. This is the anti-redness one. I've been able to try this like a lot more since it's been so dry here. And this is what it looks like, that green shade down there. And I kind of just wanted to hit on it because like I'm someone that experiences redness. So if you're looking for a product that can help combat that before you go in with your foundation, I do find that this like helps color correct it and calm it down so that it's not as like my base isn't as aggressively red to start. So I really enjoyed this, and when I don't have it and my face is red, I'm like mad that I don't have it. So this is something that I'm like traveling with all the time now, making sure that I have in case I am in the need of some correction. But yeah, this is really nice. It's not like something that I would have went out of my way to get, but now that I have it, I'm glad that I have it, and it's something that I would pick up. So yeah, I just wanted to touch base on this quickly. I know I've mentioned it in a few other videos, but I've had enough time to really work with it and find that it like sinks into my skin really nice. It doesn't affect my foundation in tone or in the way that it applies. So it plays very nicely with my other like makeup products. The next product is my Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. This is the Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. I have the shade 1.5 C Light Beige. This is a little too light for me, but the next shade up is a little too deep. So I've been mixing it with another product that we'll chat about here in a second. But I really like this. I think that it is super underrated. Like nobody talks about it. It's what I'm wearing today. I think that I prefer to have like a more hydrated base when I wear this, because I think that if like my skin isn't properly prepped, like it can sometimes be a little bit more drying, but for the most part, it's no issue. I just make sure that like I've done all my skincare, and sometimes I'll use even like a hydrating primer with it. But I really like this. I think it's super underrated. Nobody really talks about it. As you can see, like the finish of this is really nice. I did not set with a powder. I've had this on for like 2 hours at this point. But yeah, I just think that the finish of this is so nice. It is very long wear. It doesn't break up on me. I don't get any texture. It doesn't cling to dry patches. Yeah, I apply it with a sponge. I think that this is phenomenal. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that like, if there's anything about any of these products that you're curious about, drop it in the comments and I will answer it. Sometimes when I'm doing these, like I forget to mention like this or that. So if you have follow-up questions, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, I really love this product. What I mix it with is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. If you've been here throughout my channel, then you know I've already talked about this, but it's been so long since I've like reviewed it. I just wanted to include it again because It's one that I haven't used in like over a year, and I'm reintroducing it and I love it just as much. The consistency of this is like, it's creamy, but when you put it on, it appears thin and it's a more matte finish. It dries down matte. So even though it's a tinted hydrator, like you're not gonna have any sliding around or oiliness or greasiness. It dries down. And this also provides a very good amount of coverage for a tinted hydrator. It's easily light to medium and you can build it up. This is such a good product, not only on its own, but to mix with others. It plays well. So I have been just re-enjoying this again. I love the blurred finish that it gives my skin. It never emphasizes texture or breaks up. Wear time is good. It checks all of the big boxes for me. The shade range on this though is really weird. Like this is the shade Fair, and it's like, I would say it's more of a shade light. If you're gonna pick this up, I highly recommend, if you can, to go into a store because the shade range is so weird, you guys. Like, and if you have this, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, it is so weird. But I love this one and I would highly recommend it. All right, the next product, I finally have my thoughts on this. It is the Natasha Denona Hy-Glam Concealer. I've had this for a while now and I was really like unsure on my thoughts, which I think kind of tells me what I need to know. Everyone loves this so much. I was really expecting to be just like completely blown out of my chair. But I don't know. I feel like it's nice. I don't have any issues with it other than I struggle a little bit with the shade range. I have the shade N2 and I feel like it pulls a little like deep on me, which like I had bought the shade 3 and the shade 2 because online it looked like the shade 2 would be way too light, but it's not. It's like borderline too dark for me right now. So I think that like I would have been more in like the N1 range, but I do like that the consistency of this is thinner. The brush is nice for getting up into those corners. I think the component is very pretty. It's very luxury. I do like that about it. I do experience pretty minimal creasing with this. It plays well with my powders. My under eyes tend to look very smooth. I think that it is a really nice concealer. I guess like, yeah, I think it's nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I would recommend it. I think it's great. But I also feel like, you know, I don't think that it's any better than my Hourglass one. Like they're completely different in the way they perform and their texture and their formula. But at the end of the day, like they both look really good. So I think this is nice. If you're trying to decide, do I want to bite the bullet and get it or hold off? Like I think it's a good one and I think that you would enjoy it. I'm just like not personally like, oh my gosh, because I have other good concealers. But yeah, I like this one. It's nice. Okay, so the lip liner, as I was saying, we were going to get to later. We're finally getting to. MAC sent the liners in the shade Chestnut and in the shade Cork. I will swatch. That's the shade Cork, which is very, very warm toned. Too warm toned for me. Like I won't use that. I'm going to try and pass it along. And then the shade Chestnut here, which is more of a cool tone brown. That's more my jam. I think that these pencils do feel like very sturdy, luxurious. The packaging is nice. They are a wooden tip so you can sharpen them. My qualm is with the formula. I like kind of struggle with it a little bit. I find when I apply it, it doesn't feel creamy or waxy. I don't know what the situation is and I can't figure it out, but it's not creamy, it's not waxy, but like when it goes on, it also applies like patchy and I have to go back in and like fill over, and it kind of like will remove itself. Like I filmed a reel with these because I got them through Skeepers, and you might have noticed like I had to put in a bit of work to create something that I could have much more easily created with like my Makeup Forever lip liner, and that's the one that I'm gonna reach for over it. But yeah, these, I don't know, I just thought they were gonna be so much better, but the formula, like low-key, just ain't it. So yeah, I think that there is probably someone who would enjoy this. I think lip liner is like big into like preference and how you like your liner. So I could see someone enjoying these, but they don't meet my like formulation preference. So for these, like I wouldn't recommend them. I think that there's a lot better out there, like the Tower 28 one or even the Essence one. The next product is the Kaja Love Swipe. These are their like, I think you can use them as blush and lippies. I have the shade 5, I'm Melting. And one of my friends generously sent this to me because she gets them in PR. And it's one that I hadn't really like tried or reached for. That shade is gorgeous. Pretty. But when I was doing my makeup collection tour / declutter at the beginning of the year, I was basically like, if I don't start using this and find out what my feelings are on it, then like I'm gonna declutter it because it's just been sitting around. So I have been using it and I really do like it. The texture is like a thin mousse kind of. It tints the lips really nicely, and it actually is like fairly long wearing. I was really impressed with how comfortable it was for being like, you can see how like thin that formula is, but it is very comfortable, pretty long wearing. When you reapply, it reapplies nicely. These I think might be a little bit underrated. I was like, wow, it was giving kind of almost like, I want to say liquid lip vibes, but obviously the finish is different. It's a little bit more of like a satin finish, but it holds in place really nicely, doesn't bleed outside of my liner. I like this, and I would recommend these. These are really, and they're so cute, especially for Valentine's Day. But yeah, I love this. I was very pleasantly surprised. Okay, we're winding down to the end, guys. We only have 3 more products. Sorry. The next product is the NYX Plump Right Back with Electrolytes Plumping Serum and Primer. So I got this with my like Ulta Diamond, whatever they do at the beginning of the year. Like, it's not like a reward, but like a thank you, I don't know, your diamond gift. And I was really excited about it. The packaging is so fun. I like how it's like clouded here and the texture of that. The formula looks really nice. As you can see, it's like gel and it goes on to the skin really beautifully. I initially like was leaning toward liking this, but I found that like it's kind of finicky. I have to, if I like don't, because it has like a bit of tack to it. It's not as strong as a gripping primer, but there is a little bit of tack. And so I find that like, if I don't get it all the way really good, rubbed in, like very evenly, then I experience clinging or pilling. And I've tried it, like you can see, I mean, I've already gone through like that much because I have been trying it to make sure with like different foundations, like to make sure that it's actually like the primer, because I really wanted to love this. But I just think that it's a little too finicky, and I'm just like not getting it rubbed in right the majority of the time apparently. Because it will do that. It will cause clinging or like pilling. And I hate when my makeup does that because I don't have time to redo it and it don't look cute. So for me, this was just too finicky, slash like maybe my skin just isn't into it. I've experienced the same problems with gripping primers. So if you're someone who like enjoys a gripping primer, then I think that you would probably get along with this and it would work really well for you. But unfortunately, that just ain't me. All right, next up, I have a couple more products from MAC. I've talked about these in like obviously my makeup collection tour. I talked about these, but I wanted to hit on them again really quickly in my reviews video. They are the, what are they called? The Mineralized Blushes. And this is like the packaging that they come in. I like it, sleek, really nice. The only thing I don't like is how it opens, like how it has this clasp down here. Like you would think you would pull the clasp part open, but you pull above the clasp. And I don't really like that. It just kind of creates like, it's too slippery for that sometimes. So I don't like that about it, but that's honestly the only qualm I have with it. The shades that I have are Happy Go Rosy and Warm Soul. And this is like the perfect sister to the So Natural shade of their Putty Blush that I love. So good. And then this is like a really fun pop of color that like I don't typically go for, but have actually reached for quite a bit since I got it. And I've been like kind of surprised by that. But I think the reason is like the formula is so easy to work with. I am a cream girly through and through, but I did enjoy this formulation of powder. It seems to be like more of a baked formula, and I think that's why it makes it more blendable, user-friendly. It's more forgiving, which I like. I prefer a blush that you can build up rather than I'm scared to touch my face because it could ruin my whole look. So I love these. This shade is literally stunning. It's like a peachy, natural vibe. And then this one obviously is like brighter and pinky. It pulls more of like a light cherry color on me. I like to use it as like a topper for a bit of like more of a impactful pink pop. But this one is like more pigmented. I have to be a little bit more careful, but as long as I'm just like dipping my brush in and not going like this, then like I haven't had any issues with it. It's very easily blendable. And yeah, I don't know. I think that if you're someone who prefers creams but you want to dabble in powder from time to time for variety, or even if you're just someone who likes powder, these are really great options in my opinion. They work really well and they last on the face. I also like that they have like a little bit of a sheen in them, so it gives off a bit of a glow on the skin. Beautiful. All right, next up, last up. This one is, I think, yeah, this is like the newest one to me. It is the Smashbox Halo Face Palette. They're called the Sculpt and Glow Face Palette. You get a highlighting powder you get an enhancing blush and a sculpting blush, and then you get a contour. The one that I got is the shade Back to Cali, and I actually got this, my boyfriend gifted me this. The packaging is really heavy, feels really weighted. It opens like from up, like you pop this part open, and then it's like, has like some kind of, I don't know if it's just like how, because this is heavier and has a mirror or what, but then it like automatically will like, even if you have it down, it'll like close, like it won't stay open. But so I think the packaging is like, I don't know, nice. It's different. The product is like seated in the component. So you can see kind of right there. Product wise, so this right here is a powdered highlight, but it's creamy and soft enough that it's not cream, but it's very soft. This is what it looks like. I was worried that it would be too dark, but it's not. I'm wearing it today and I think that it looks nice. you just go in with a light hand. I will say if you're someone who does not like glitter in your highlighter, then you probably won't enjoy this. There are some glitter particles in it, but I think that's pretty. I personally like that, so it's not an issue for me, but just so you're aware, the contour shade looks like this, and I'm wearing it today. I think it's a nice shade for me contour wise. I was hoping I would maybe even be able to get away with it as like a light bronzer, but the formula isn't blendable enough to do that. It hugs and gets very like patchy. So the formula is definitely more geared toward that specific detailed placement. So I did like, so that's fine. I'll use it as a contour. I think it looks nice. It holds up well. It lasts. The next two are the blushes, which is this right here and this right here. Swatch those. So pretty, right? Those are the ones I'm wearing today. And that's what they look swatched out as. And I had so I've done it to where like I've mixed them both and done just separately. And I don't know what is going on with the blush formula. I like cannot get it to stick to right in here. I don't know why. And like it doesn't look as bad right now, but I'm gonna insert a picture of earlier when I did my makeup and I washed it off and had to start again because it just like clinged right here. It was like it would not go where I set my eyes. And it's really weird because since I was using powder, I set my entire face. So it's not like I just have powder on my under eyes. I have powder all over my face. And it clung, it was just like right here. And I couldn't get it to blend out or to go up over here. I don't know what the deal is. And so I redid it and I was like, maybe I'll just like won't like put powder everywhere else, but like I have to powder my under eyes. I have to. And it's still like, it looks better than it did earlier, but it's still just like refusing to stick right in this area because I like to bring my blush like up more, but it's just not playing with the powder on my under eye. It is the weirdest thing. It's refusing to stick. And I've tried like 5 different brushes. I've tried them mixed. I've tried them separately. I don't know what is going on. Like the formula is very powdery. Like you get a lot of kick up when you're using this. Like, so you would think there would be pigment, but it just blends away, which is so weird because when I put it on my nose, this will stay like this all day. The pigment will hold, it will look nice, but it won't do it over here. And I don't know why that is. If you have any tips or tricks, let me know. Because my boyfriend bought this for me for like something special. So like, I don't want to get rid of it. Like I want to keep it. So if I could find a way to make it work, maybe that would be nice. But yeah, I mean, I unfortunately wouldn't recommend that you go pick this up because I'm just really struggling with this blush formula. And I was like, maybe it's me because I typically use powders, but I'm like, I also do makeup all the time. Like I know how to do makeup and I've played with it enough that we should be past the learning curve. So I don't know what's going on with it. I've tried different primers. I've tried different foundation, different brushes, different powdering techniques, and I'm just coming up short. So I kind of just think that maybe the blushes are shit. That's kind of where it's leading me to believe. But yeah, it is so freaking weird. But yeah, I love the highlighter. That's probably my favorite part, which is crazy because I'm not even huge on the highlight, but I love the highlighter. Yeah, so that is like a really unfortunate what the truck, in my opinion. But yeah, wow. So yeah, not speed reviews, long-winded, in-depth reviews. But regardless, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this style of video. I personally like these because I want a more informed review so that I know if it's gonna potentially work for me or not. If you're not into long form and you prefer them to be shorter, let me know in the comments, and next time I'll concise these things. We'll be rolling. But I wanted to try something a little bit different. So if you enjoyed that, give it a thumbs up, let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you more than you know, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.